How did that just happen?
It's crashing right there.
What about that, Jordan? Yes.
Hello and welcome to Wired Outdoors. It's springtime, we're super excited, turkey season's here, but what we're going to talk to you about today is taking care of those springtime food plots, the perennial plots. We're going to be spraying with our Arrest Max from Whitetail Institute, which is going to control the grasses, the Slay products for the broadleaf weeds, and the Surefire Crop Oil. We're going to talk a little bit more in the show why we use those products and how to use them, but let's get right to it and start spraying these plots.
This plot is called the house plot, and it is a 3-year-old plot. We've had fusion as well as imperial clover in here, and you can see we have a lot of clover, but we're starting to get a bunch of grasses as well as some broadleaf weeds. So we're going to spray it today again with the Arrest Max, the Slay for the broadleaf, and the Surefire Crop Oil. Come back in here a week, 2 weeks later, mow it, and have a great looking food plot. Okay, we are back. It is 10 days later since we sprayed this plot with the Arrest Max, the Slay, and the Surefire Crop Oil. The Arrest Max for those grasses, the Slay for the broadleaf weeds, and you can see all the grasses and weeds are dying in here. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna mow it, we're gonna take the tops off, and in 2 weeks we're gonna have an absolutely awesome looking clover and fusion plot.
What we want to talk to you about now is some of the technical aspects and how to properly use these products. Arrest Max for the grasses, Slay for the broadleaf weeds, and the Surefire Crop Oil. Arrest Max is a selective grass herbicide for perennial forage maintenance. It is selective, which means it controls some plants without harming others when used as directed. Grasses, it controls most grasses in your food plots, and it's a perennial forage maintenance for use in maintaining perennials and not clearing sites. Why spray for grasses? Keep grass from compromising the quality and longevity of the planting. Grass control is the #1 perennial maintenance priority. Why do we want to use Arrest Max instead of other selective grass herbicides? Arrest Max is the next generation of selective grass herbicides. It's an improvement over the older generations of grass herbicides. It's more economical. You don't have to use as much per acre. It does better at controlling perennial grasses, tough annual grasses, as well as mature grasses. It can be mixed directly in the tank with the Slay product. So if you have broadleaf and grasses, you can mix it in the tank together. Mixing instructions are always provided on the label. So now we ask, when do we want to spray Arrest Max? We want to spray it during the spring and summer if grass appears in the plot. Grass must be actively growing to take in the Arrest Max. Early spring is the ideal time to spray when grass is about 6 inches tall. Always follow the label instructions before using any of our herbicides. Next, we want to talk to you about the Slay product. First of all, what? Selective broadleaf weed herbicide for perennial forage maintenance. It is selective, which means it controls some plants without harming others when used as directed. It is used for broadleaf weeds. It controls most kinds of broadleaf weeds and also controls some grasses that Arrest Max won't. It will not control brush or other woody weeds. Labeled for use in established food plots of imperial whitetail clover and any other clover or alfalfa. Established. What established means is do not use on a newly planted clover plot until plants are about 3 inches tall and most of the clover plots have all 3 leaves unfolded. Why do we want to use the Slay product? To help keep broadleaf weeds that may appear from compromising the quality and the longevity of planting. When do we want to use the Slay product? During the spring and summer if broadleaf weeds appear in the food plot. Early spring is the ideal time to spray when weeds are small and much easier to control. And as always, follow the directions on the label before using any of our herbicides. Next, what we want to talk to you about is the Surefire Crop Oil. First of all, what? It is an agricultural oil for use with Arrest Max, Slay, and many other herbicides. It is packaged separately to be tank mixed when the herbicide solution is prepared. Why do we want to use an agricultural oil like Surefire Crop Oil? With Slay, it is required. An adjuvant such as Surefire must be added to the Slay spray tank in order for the Slay to work. With Arrest Max, it is highly recommended. It helps Arrest Max do an even better job on tough perennial and mature grasses. Why use Surefire Crop Oil? It is vegetable based, not petroleum based like other oils. It includes an anti-foaming agent to help user mix the spray solution correctly. It can be used with many other herbicides to increase effectiveness. The next question is, when to use Surefire Crop Oil? During spring and summer, whenever Arrest Max and our Slay are going to be sprayed. And lastly, like we always say, make sure you follow all of the instructions labeled on the bottle. Okay, it is the middle of summer and we wanted to bring you back in and show you the results after spraying with our Arrest Max, Slay, and Surefire Crop Oil. And you can see behind me, we call this the house plot. We have a beautiful looking food plot. We sprayed Arrest to kill those grasses, Slay to kill the broadleaf weeds, and the Surefire Crop Oil. And again, a beautiful looking food plot. Clover, chicory, this is a fusion plot up above, a clover plot down below, and it is full and lush with nothing but clover and chicory. So again, the moral of the story, you take care of those perennial plots, they can last you 4, 5, even 6 years, and Arrest Max Slay is a great way to control those weeds. Well, as you can see, this is a great way to control those weeds in the early spring and then have great looking food plots in the fall. We've been doing this method for years with the Arrest Max for the grasses, the Slay for the broadleaf weeds, and the Surefire Crop Oil. If you have any questions at all, call the experts at Whitetail Institute at the 1-800 number on the screen. And we want to thank you all for joining us on Wired Outdoors.